What's an old person habit you've adopted because it's actually a really good idea? All weekend errands are done before noon to beat the crowds. If I can't get there before then, I'll wait. The proper old person errand hack is doing them on a Wednesday at like 1:30 p.m. As a remote worker, most of my errands are done mid-weekday, but I don't want to snitch on myself. Even before remote, I was in a 2 to 10 p.m. shift. I just can't do crowds or traffic anymore. Early dinner. I've been getting earlier. Gotta give it a chance to properly digest before bed. Carrying ibuprofen in my purse always. You never know when one might need. Somewhat related, but I always have stamps in my purse. One time my mother was in the hospital, and I was helping her pay the bills, and she told me to put stamps on the envelopes when I got home, and I just whipped them out right then and there. She looked at me with such adult pride. Taking my shoes off at the door and stepping straight into my slippers. Same, but sweatpants. Walk in the door and my outside pants come off and my comfy pants go on. Comfy pants. Comfy shoes. Life's too short for uncomfortable pants and shoes. I won't buy any clothing that doesn't have a little bit of stretch. I accidentally bought a denim jacket without, and had to get rid of it because it made me feel claustrophobic. I wonder how I ever tolerated all the cute but uncomfortable outfits I used to wear. Lap blankets. I'm so toasty now. Seconded. Got a heated blanket for Christmas. I'm 30 going on 80 and I love it. Wanting to stay home. Have them come to me. Same, except I don't want them to come to me. Never come to me. I don't want to see anybody. Closed captioning on anything I watch. I can't hear without my subtitles. An older lady recommended flipping the garbage bags inside out so the seam is on the inside and your garbage bags won't rip open as often. I still put my garbage in like this years later. That's outstanding. I have to double bag a lot because of rips. I shall be using this old person tip going forward. There's always room for ice cream, at least according to all my grandparents. Cold can make some materials contract, taking up less volume. This is why there's always room for ice cream, because the food you ate before the ice cream will take up less volume once the cold ice cream is introduced, leaving room for the ice cream. And I refuse to believe anyone who tells me otherwise. No, you've got it all wrong. The ice cream melts as you eat it, and it fills in all the nooks and crannies in between the real food you ate. That's why there's always room. Liquids conform to their container. Sewing and crocheting, it's literally meditation. Got into knitting last year and was like, okay, I get the appeal now. Recently started trying crochet too. I always joke that you're either born with the knitting abilities, or crochet, but it's hard to master both. I still have yet to fully master crochet, but knitting is my home as of last year. Spending time in a peaceful and quiet home instead of partying. Early bedtime and early rising. I think I just am old, because one day I went to bed at 9 p.m. and it just stuck. It's the greatest. Going to eat at a nice place at reasonable non-busy hour of 4:30. My best friend and I like to go for a late lunch, 1 p.m. But we share a bottle or two of wine and make an afternoon of it. Take the bus home. On the couch in my PJs by 7 o'clock, the buzz has gently worn off. Basically, it's the same 5 to 6 hours we used to do at night, but daytime, and slightly less raucous. Yes, long lunches are so much better than boozy dinners. Enjoy the long session, but start early and finish early means you have hours before bed to start the recovery by drinking water, showering, etc., and getting to sleep at a decent time, rather than going past midnight, going to bed at your most intoxicated and having poor sleep and feel awful the next day. Not everything needs to be rushed. I'll get there when I get there. Also, be yourself and don't worry so much about what others think. Gardening. And as my grandfather said, learn to age gracefully and accept the changes as they come. My friend from kindergarten grew up to be a respected professional in his highly educated field, but also had a spell in prison. Went back to previous field. His dad was reportedly surprised to get a call with a specific query about the cultivation of potatoes. Comes to us all. Ignore the clock, eat when you're hungry, sleep when you're tired. Drive slower than usual in parking lots. It can save a life or prevent a serious injury. Just plain driving slower and non-aggressively. Leave 15 minutes earlier and I get to enjoy some music or a podcast and let the jerks duke it out amongst themselves. Not spending money. I have thoroughly embraced. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm gonna retire early on the savings from not caring what other people think about my possessions. Afternoon naps. Okay, it's not strictly an old person thing, 'cause siestas exist. But seriously, getting home, hopping in a quick shower to wash the grime of the day off, and laying down for a quick half-hour to hour nap leaves me energized and refreshed for all my afternoon-evening stuff. And I've found it means I need less sleep at night to feel refreshed, by at least 1 to 2 hours. So it's actually a net positive on the rest-to-sleep ratio. I also tend to wake up pretty early these days as well. Usually up by around 4 to 5, leave home around 7 for the day. Get home by 5 p.m. quick shower and nap till 6, then I'm good to go till 10 to 11 p.m. I wish I could do cat naps like that. I go for a nap and wake up not even knowing if it's that same day. So this may just have been my personal perception, but I always associated recliner chairs with the aged. When I was couch shopping with my husband, we tested one in a jokey, let's see our future kind of thing, and OMG, I've never known comfort like it. We've been recliner people ever since. We have an electric twin-seater with drink holders and a compartment storage for remotes, etc. I love it. 2 meals a day. Breakfast at a civilized time, not 6 a.m., and dinner early. Allows time for light evening snacks and a sensible bedtime to read for an hour or so. 3 full meals is actually too much most of the time. Going to bed when my kid goes to bed 8. Then I wake up at 4 a.m. with a full night's sleep and several uninterrupted hours to do whatever I want. Sometimes I catch up and work, sometimes I play video games, sometimes I go for a walk. It's my time. Not caring about my looks and body image. I still struggle with that, especially the culture we live in. But since I hit 50, I just care so much less. I'm definitely not going to judge my worth by what someone else thinks, especially when they're trying to sell something. Pill organizer. So convenient. Packing tea bags when I go on holidays. Keeping a running grocery and to-do list. Writing it down later is a young man's thing. Earplugs at concerts and movie theaters, thank me in a few decades. A place for everything and everything in its place. If I bring in something new, something older goes. Makes you think before buying and clutter way down. I get to the airport plenty early for flights and don't care about waiting around if the lines are short. I'm 27. I've had enough close calls for one life. Pay attention when walking downstairs. I always carry a clean handkerchief in my pocket. Paper printouts on my vacation itinerary. As someone with a common name, it helps if I have the confirmation number handy. Having a piece of paper with the information for my flight, hotel, rental car means I don't need my phone. Washing and reusing Ziploc bags. Getting a pair of those ugly-ass white New Balances. They're so comfy. I wore them all over Europe last summer like a boss. Elasticated waistbands. Keep my insurance and registration in a wallet in the glove box of the car. I feel so grown up. Sitting in the shade and enjoying the breeze when I am by the water. You are hidden in plain sight, and you see and hear a lot. Slippers and a blanket for watching TV with my partner. Why bother heating the entire room when you can both snuggle under a blanket with the dog? Staying at the airport hotel before or after a poorly timed flight, if I can afford it. Better sleep is a genius move. Getting out of bed properly, LOL. Roll onto your side and push yourself up that way. Your back will thank you. I mean, then I'd just be denying my body the solitary sit-up it gets per day. Wearing socks to bed in winter turns out warm feet, making it way easier to fall asleep. Driving exactly, or 5 miles per hour under, the speed limit, and generally being a very safe and cautious driver. I adopted this habit when I was driving for a living almost 20 years ago, since my income at the time depended on a clean driving record, and it stuck. Almost everyone who rides with me complains that I'm a grandma driver. Joke's on them, I have killer low insurance rates, never get tickets, and haven't had an accident, knock on wood, in decades. You know how much you have to speed and how far you have to be going for it to actually save you significant time? People are just out there risking their own lives and everyone's around them for all of 3 minutes. So dumb. I'll bet those 3 minutes also would have been saved if everyone followed the road rules too, and stopped centering the world around themselves. The point of the rules is to make the road safer by making it as predictable as possible. Too many people make an excuse for themselves, or think of themselves as the exception, and don't consider the impact it has when everyone else does the same thing. Carrying a plastic bag full of other plastic bags. You never know when you'll need one, and somehow, it just feels like the responsible thing to do. You know those grabber things that they market to old people so they can reach stuff up on high shelves? Those are really handy at any age. I've got a couple around the house. They're really useful when the dog rolls his favorite ball under the bed and sits there whining at you to get it for him. Taking naps. Never felt better. No wonder my grandparents have lived so long. A box of tissues in every room. Walking after meals. Even if it's a block, it still helps with not only digestion but weight loss. Sitting on my porch is rather nice. Using shower caps to keep my hair dry when I'm showering. Stretch before you get out of bed. Changing straight into pajamas the second I'm home. You won't catch me hanging out in the house in my street clothes. I'm either naked or in my jammies. All of my habits are old person habits. Before standing up, repeat keywords for things you aim to accomplish. Laundry, window, computer. After you close the window, repeat laundry and computer. It short-circuits that feeling of arriving in a room inexplicably. Resting my eyes. My grandma used to just sit there with her eyes closed, and I'd always ask if she was asleep. But I get it now, sometimes they just need a little break. What's an old person habit you have adopted? Leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.